Here we are, finally, with the dress. The first of our 2 big days has arrived. We have looked at inspiration, we've gone shopping, tried dresses on, and we are finally here with our final dress. Now, we need to take a look at all of the different types of alterations that we can do to get you the perfect fit for the big day. Let's take a look. As far as alterations go, the options are, of course, endless. I know that every dress is different. We love that about working on wedding dresses, but we're going to give you a general idea of the types of alterations available by showing you a few different dresses in this video. So we're going to start with this full lace covered long sleeve dress because there are some really unique things that we can do here. Now, I'm going to start at the top. And this is really important because when we get going, I know that there are lots of questions from bride and mom and all of the party members. And we have a really specific system, which is top to bottom. And the reason that that matters is because this fit affects everything below it. This is true for all clothing, but even more so with the wedding dress because we've got so much more dress than maybe we normally do. So we're going to start at the shoulders. We're going to work our way down the bust and make sure that we have a good fit all the way through the hips. Then we will come down to the hem and all of the lining layers and lace layers and whatever else we've got down here. And finally come down to the train. This is where we'll get into the bustle. And we always go in this order. This is a really good rhythm for us and for you so that you can work with us and see where we're headed, what we're doing, and then end, of course, in the same rhythm as the wedding itself, which is a bustle for the reception. So let's start up here at the shoulders. Starting up here at the shoulders, we're going to make sure that we don't have too much space in here. One of the things that is very common is shoulder and strap adjustments because we all have a different slope to our shoulders. So we can pinch up here, we can pinch out through here, we can taper in this sleeve. I'm actually going to put my arm in here so that it's a little bit easier to see. So we can pin along here to taper that sleeve and give you a really nice fitted look if that's the style. And say you have a button placket, a detail like this. All of this can be taken off, reset, moved up, and changed. So don't let this worry you. All of these things, lace, shortening, moving these details, all of that is possible. And we'll talk about all of that depending on exactly what kind of details you have on your dress. Next, we'll move down to the bust. One of the big questions that I get is, what kind of bra do I wear under my wedding dress? And the answer is usually none. Yay. What we like to do is come up with a different solution that is totally built into the dress, whether that is boning, structural boning, pieces of plastic that keep everything tight to the skin, a foam push or flat cup that will give you support, lift, and shape in the breast area, both, neither, lifting different areas, tightening or letting out. These are all ways that we can give you structure and support to give you that perfect fit. This is one of my favorite styles of boning. It's a nice flexible plastic boning that is great for structure in the front and on the sides to just give you a little bit more support and that nice secure tight feeling. This is something that may already be in your dress or can be added to your dress to give you that feeling. And then one of our favorite support structures is adding these cups. This is the bra replacement that we talked about. So we have a couple of different shapes in all different sizes. This is a teardrop style that I love because it works well with different styles of dresses that have maybe a more open front or a deep V. But we also, of course, have a push. That little padding there to give us a little extra oomph. So we have a lot of different shapes, sizes, styles, options, colors, and all of this can be added in place of the bra. So don't worry about that. we've got you covered. Next, we're going to come down to the hips. This is another area where we really like, on a fitted dress like this, to give you that really nice tight fit, very flattering, and again, can all be just pinched out to your comfort level, coming in, and then as we get further down the train, we will merge that back out so that you still have this lovely flow down into the bottom of the dress. We can also take in through the backside to give you that fitted, nice look around the booty as well. All of that can be done through the different seams on the sides, on the back, and even through the center back as well. So we have lots of options for getting the right fit for your silhouette in your dress. We've made our way down to the hem now. The next $1 million question is, I've got lace. How are you going to hem that? And the answer is pretty simple. It's not magic. We're going to take it off. So this lace, like many laces on wedding dresses, is an edging detail. It comes at different widths off of a roll. And though it's hard to tell, we will remove this lace along the edge, shorten the length of the dress, and then very delicately re-sew it all back on using white or invisible thread, depending, to match the color of the dress so that you can't tell where the lace has been reset and where it was taken off. So all of these things are possible. All the laces and dresses are different, but in general, there are different ways to hem every layer of the dress. So let's go into some of the lining. We've got a pretty little tulle layer under here. That'll be a queen cut. And then we've got some lining layers down here with a little bit of regular serging and sewing. All of these things are different procedures depending on the type of fabric, and we'll tell you which one you need during the appointment. But don't let different types of fabric scare you away from getting a specific dress, because it's always possible to alter. We just have to come up with the new creative solution to do that. Time for the infamous bustle. So bustles are all completely unique to the dress that they are put on. Most dresses do not come with a bustle already installed. We will have to do that for you, but that's fine. What we're going to do is go through different options to show you what looks nice, let you take a look at it, and see what feels right for you. In this case, this dress has this beautiful lower seam line. You can kind of see here by the lace. And pulling up this long tulle train, but showing off the lace still, it will look best if we do an over bustle. So that's what I'm going to show you now. We've actually already installed one on this dress. First, we're going to pick out our points. So we will tell you, in this case, this dress has 3 points, which are 3 buttons. On the center, we're going to use the bottom button of our zipper, and then we're going to have 2 side points, and usually we'll use something that blends in well with the dress. In this case, this clear button. There'll be one on this side and one on the other side. So we have got 3, 1, 2, 3 points. Now let's find their corresponding loops. Find that it's easiest to start on the center back seam, which is here, and we are coming down to find this tiny, impossible to see little white loop. The reason that we make these difficult to see is because we don't want them to show up in the photos. We want it to be functional, but essentially hidden until the moment it's necessary. How I'm going to find that actually is, I'm going to pull the pieces of fabric apart. Do you see how they're connected at that point? That's what I'm looking for. I'm not actually trying to find the white loop on the surface, because seriously, can you see it? No, that's really tricky. So again, holding the layers apart or searching on the underside for a knot. Look at that, way easier to see. You see? So let's hold on to that with one hand and come back over to the front again. Now we know what we're looking for. Great, we have our first loop. Now because of the position of the buttons, we know that the other two loops are going to be off to either side. This one we can see right here. You see that? And we should have a matching loop roughly at the same point on the other side. There we go. Great, perfect. So I'm going to bring up the center back first and just pop that right onto this pretty little button at the bottom of the zipper. Great. And take my second loop right over here to my little clear button. Oh, that looks lovely. And then find my last loop again over here to bring up to that clear button. Now, if you need to take down the center to find these side points again, don't rush, take your time, you will find them. But it can be easier to hold on to these loops or have one person hold on to each loop and bring them all up at the same time. That can be really helpful. Now that we've got it set up, let's see how it falls. This lace is so beautiful. I love to put it on display like this. And as you can see, it's just touching the ground, similar now to the front of the dress. Obviously, this is the design, this is the point. We want to lift up the train while still trying to show it off if we can, but we want it to be functional for the dancing and the reception. So if we spin her, we can see that we've got nice equal volume all the way around, but also the function of the pickup. You see that? Perfect. Now she is all done. Let's take a look at a different style dress next. Dress number 2. We're taking a look at a very different style dress now. No lace, no embellishment, but comes with its own set of really interesting, unique alterations. First, we're going to take a look at this strap. What's interesting about this strap actually is that this dress came with a regular spaghetti strap. These, of course, can be shortened and often will stretch out over time, so don't worry if that needs to be shortened. Easy fix. However, this bride was looking for more support here in the bust, but without an added cup or the structure that we talked about. So we decided to use some of the fabric that was actually cut from the hem to create her this more robust but beautiful, gathered, and more interesting strap. Isn't that interesting? So again, spaghetti straps, simple fix, those can absolutely be shortened and sometimes lengthened. And adding or creating a new strap is also possible. It's just depending on what your goals are for your fit. Let's take a look at the thighs and hips next. All right, here we are at everyone's favorite spot, the booty. What we're going to take a look at here is these seams coming down over the booty. They are a mirror of a princess seam that would come down over the bust in the front, and we use them in fitted garments like this to cover our curves. And this is no different. We have a lot of options here. As you can see, while I'm pinning or pinching this fabric out, you can see how it's giving us this nice, tighter, cleaner fit over the booty and over the hip. We can take in both through this seam and this seam to give us a really custom fit here. That's one of the things I like about the flexibility of this style dress. So we've got a lot of options for giving you that shape that you're looking for. Perfect. And don't mind the way that this looks when it's pinned. We pin from the outside because that's where we can access the garment, but all of the markings and pinning will be transferred to the inside of the dress and taken out through these seams. You'll never know that they were altered. So, best of both worlds. Let's talk bustles for a second. Two big general groups, over or under. Over style bustles typically lift the fabric up to some point along the dress to give you a nice little showcase of the fabric, which is great for lace, but it's difficult for heavier fabrics like this. The under bustle is ideal for heavier fabrics like this beautiful crepe or non-detailed fabrics where we're not necessarily trying to show off, we just want the dress to be now functional after we've walked down the aisle and we're at the reception. So we're going to show you a network of little loops and ribbons on the inside of the dress that will help us tuck this train up under so that we get to keep it, but we also get to dance. So we've found our loop. We know where our center back loop is. We're going to follow this center back seam all the way up until we find our ribbons. So as you can see here, I'm going to hold the weight of that fabric. This would be a good time to have another member of the wedding party or even the bride hold the fabric up at her waist so that we can see these ribbons. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means 5 points. The points in this case are loops with a matching ribbon. Each one is a point where the dress is being pulled up. So let's start on the center back seam. I've got my little ribbon right here, and I'm going to come back to my loop here. So we've got our ribbon and our loop. All we need to do is thread that loop onto that ribbon. But let's take one quick break and look at something. You see how this ribbon has frayed? Unfortunately, it is the tendency of ribbons to fray a little bit, and we have a quick tip that is a really easy way to keep that from going. We're going to hold the ends of this ribbon as far away from the dress as possible and give it one quick flash on the lighter. This will just singe the end and keep it from continuing to unravel. Oh, just like that. Really quick. That's it. That's all you need. We will do this to each of the ends of the ribbons before we give the dress back, but in a pinch, if you're finding that you're starting to get really unraveled and it's making it difficult to thread it on, that's your trick. Now, the loop is on one side of the ribbon, and all I need to do is tie a little bow. Simple as that. Then, once we've got the center back done, we'll just move on to our next ribbon and next loop. So let's look under the dress. I'm going to go to the right, and I see that I've got my ribbon, and then I'm going to follow this seam up. Follow, follow, so that I can find my loop. We will draw a diagram of each bustle before we let you go so that you'll have a little map to take with you of each point under your dress. Perfect. And our final ribbon is actually all the way over here on the side. We're picking up that kind of 45-degree angle off to the side of the dress. And one more time, we're just threading that on and then tying ourselves a cute little bow. You don't need to tie this in a knot. No reason to make it unfunctional for later, like so that you have to cut it. That's fine just as it is. Great. Now let's pop on over to the other side. I've got my loop here and my next ribbon here. And one more bow. And then finally, our last ribbon and our last loop. Right there, perfect. Now, once we've threaded everything up, that's when we'll have whoever's ever holding the extra fabric let that loose, and we'll take a look at how it hangs. Ready for the big reveal? Let's take a look. Oh, don't you love that? I love this bustle. I love how functional it is. I love that we get to keep all of the drama of this dress and its buttons, but all of the function of a real twirl. We get to dance, we get to move, we get to see our guests, but we also don't have our beautiful 10-foot train getting in the way of that. Let's recap. In short, Alterations is your secret weapon. You're gonna find the perfect dress that you love, and we're gonna make it fit. And the options are endless. So relax, don't stress, bring your dress, bring yourself, and we will do the rest of the hard work. A couple of do's and don'ts. Real simple, we want you to bring the shoes that you're gonna wear. I know, this is another tough decision, but that height is really important for the correct hem. So we want you to bring these shoes for the big day to wear during your appointment. Next, like I said, don't worry about that bra. We will cover the bra situation. But if you have shapewear that you want to wear, you don't need it. You are perfect the way that you are. If you insist, you are welcome to bring that, and I do want you to bring that to this appointment because that will affect fit. So that's going to be really important. So bring that with you as well. Other than that, some fun things, bring some accessories, bring your veil, bring some jewelry. We've got plenty of time. Let's take in this dress for the second time. The first time, there's so much excitement in that shopping experience. Now is your time to take a breath and relax and see yourself the way that you are going to be on your wedding day. And we're gonna take time with that. That's a process, and we're gonna do that together. So bring those earrings, bring the different heirlooms from grandma or mom or whomever that you want to include in the dress, or look at different options. Everything is possible. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and take a look at the worksheet below. We've got all of this lined out for you and detailed so that you don't have to worry about it. Bye.